Hi guys, and happy weekend. So happy February, right? January is finally gone, and I know it's been a perfect balance. Some people have had a really rough month, and some people have had a really amazing month, right? To me, January felt like it lasted for like a whole year, and there was a lot of shift, but I did call this out when I did the yearly reading. I called this the year of Medusa, Pele, and Persephone, right? So right now we're experiencing that energy of Medusa, the grand shift, the rebirth. So we know that for rebirth to happen, it's like the Tower card. Our security blankets and our security zones will get shaken up, and then they will kind of level us up, bringing new energy out with the old, in with the new. So today we are using the Robin Wood Tarot, and this tarot is very special to me. I've had it since the 90s. It was one of the tarot decks that I learned with, and it went dormant, if you guys know what I mean, for a few years. It's finally awoke again, and I have not been able to put this deck down. So as we know, February is the month when we do get our Mercury retrograde, right? So the thing with this is that Mercury will be leaving Aquarius, and it will move into Pisces for the next 2 months. So we have a highly emotional sign mixing with a communication planet, so expect it to feel like a Mercury retrograde all the way to April. Now what I tell people is, do not bite your tongue. Don't just keep things in. Just kind of measure the situation. You will be dealing a lot with us being overly sensitive, or other people around you being very sensitive, so just be very careful on how you approach the situation, if that sounds better, right? So with hair talk, you guys, I did it. I shaved it off completely. What we have here is about a week of hair growth. Yes. So it's growing really fast. I had dyed it dark brown. We already kind of see the grays coming in. I think I may bleach it just to have a little bit of fun with it. And then after that, I think I'm just going to let it do its thing to just kind of see how much grays I have and play with that around a little bit. Someone asked me if I was just going to let it, shave it off and let it grow. I'm probably going to keep it like this for some time. This is usually the style that I had about 10 years ago. My little girl asked me to grow my hair. I grew my hair out for my little girl. She ended up getting a pixie cut. And then she kind of just said, Mom, you don't have to let your hair grow anymore. So as soon as she said that, I was like, the hair is gone, right? So basically, it's a lot of people have been asking me, was there a ritual done when you shaved your head? Not this time. The last ritual I ever did when I shaved my head, I was 19. Other than that, this is just for looks. And it just works for me. Basically you just wash your hair and you are good, right? And I like that. I like that, not having to worry about how frizzy, how big it is. Eventually here and there I start missing my long hair. Not yet though. And usually that's a few months after I do it, and that's when I may let it grow. Last time I had it like this, it went for 2 years. I shaved it, I buzz cut it every 2 weeks, and I left it like that. So now that we got that out of the way, I do always say every woman should shave her head at least once in a lifetime, because it's a very freeing thing, and it kind of helps you work with your, it's just you now. You don't have that hair. So, there's days that you're like, oh my God, and yeah, you kind of have to, put a little bit of makeup, but it kind of forces you to work with that root chakra, right? So let's go ahead and get started now that we're done with that hair talk. And once again, this is the Robin Wood Tarot. It is a deck that I've had since the 90s. It is an older deck, and we're going to be using this one. We're going to be pulling out a few cards for this week of February 3rd to February 9th, and then we're going to end it with one of the cards from the Magic of You Oracle. The Magic of You Oracle, I believe it's a pretty new deck, and it is amazing. And we're going to choose a card, and then we're actually going to read from the book a little ritual that goes with the card that we choose, right? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to lay out the cards. And we are going to go with 6 cards today. So we're going to start with the first one. Actually, the first 2 are actually pretty powerful. We have the 6 of Swords along with the Fool. This is actually a pretty powerful message for next week, because what we're seeing here is that it's time for us to leave behind something. So if you've been working on cutting cords, if you've been working on releasing things that serve you no longer, or even the thought of moving or starting again, you have the Fool right next to it saying that it's time to take the leap. A lot of times we feel it in our gut, but we start overthinking it and we stop our own goals from happening because of self-doubt. And now a lot of people try to run away from self-doubt. They're like, I want to be fearless. But the truth is that we're not fearless. Fear is there for a reason. And when you study the Gene Keys, you learn that everything is neutral. There is no bad emotions. There's no good emotions. Everything is there for a reason. So seeing this, if you feel self-doubt, see where it's coming from. Are you just afraid because of the change that's coming, or are you afraid of something else? Start journaling. See what is stopping you from doing the things you really want to do. But there is a pull, and you have this pull, and you should honor this pull. It's time to leave something behind and not look back, especially if you've been trying and it's just not working. Maybe you're trying to open a door and it's not working. Maybe the universe is saying, it's not your door. I have a better door for you, right? So don't be afraid to take the leap. I always love to see the Fool because he has that energy of take the leap. Trust the universe. The universe has your back. Now, the next one that we see is the World, and the World is in reverse. So when the World comes in reverse, what it's asking us is, see, there is something that we've completed, right? Something that finally has come to completion. And the wheel kind of goes with Imbolc, right? Which is a halfway point of winter as well as spring. But when the World comes out in reverse, you're still feeling a little bit disappointed about something. It's almost like you are feeling discouraged, right? And that may actually be stopping you from accomplishing something that you've really wanted for a while. So what we see here is almost like you're feeling like you're failing, like a failure, right? So when the World is in reverse, it's asking you to bring a lot of compassion into your life, to be more patient. When you have these people around you doing things and you see your friends fail or your tribe fail, what you do is you build them up. You're like, let's do this again, let's try again, right? If you have children and learning to ride their bikes, we build them up. We're like, no, don't give up. But when it comes to ourselves, we don't do that. We're not building ourselves up. We're not saying, oh, I made a mistake, step back up and do it, right? We insult ourselves. So the World in reverse is saying, watch how you're treating yourself. If you're not doing your best right now, take it one step at a time. Do not call yourself a failure, because you simply are not a failure. And I won't let you call yourself a failure. I have days that I call myself a failure, right? And then I just pick myself back up like, hey, wait a minute. If I wouldn't let someone talk to me like that, why am I talking to me like that, right? So seeing this in reverse is basically, you're feeling the stagnant energy, and the stagnant energy can be coming from overthinking, and we saw that with the first two cards. Now, the next one that we see is the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is in reverse as well. So what exactly does the Seven of Cups in reverse means is that we may be presented with a lot of options, but for some reason we're not seeing these options. For some reason we are not connecting, right? So when we see this in reverse, it's a good thing though, because by not connecting, we become more determined. So maybe next week will be that week that you're like, you know what, I fail, right? I failed, I fell down, I got all scratched up, I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna go. So it's using the strong will into putting things into action. So I kind of like the Seven of Cups in reverse, because it's all about being strong-willed and determined. It's that energy that says, I'm gonna fucking do this, right? And it's almost like you've had enough, and a lot of times we need to reach that rock bottom. A lot of times we need to reach that point that we can't take it anymore, because it turns into an inspiration. How we're so sick and tired of the same thing, that moment, that anger turns into your inspiration to change it all around. So see how anger is kind of needed. It's like it catapults us to saying, I deserve better. I am worth so much more. Now, the next one that we're seeing is the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands is actually a very happy card, right? And what we see here is expect periods of harmony. Maybe not the whole entire week, but some periods of happiness, some periods of harmony, right? Expect new fruits of your labor. Expect yourself to want to plan, to want to plant new seeds, But it's also the card that's saying, in order for you to reach this harmony, make sure that you're resting, make sure that you're slowing down, right? So this is the card that says kind of slow down and enjoy the moment, but also work on your dreams. Just don't feel like you have to be in such a hurry. A lot of times we're like on the go because, time goes fast and we're just like, we got to get things done. But being in a hurry, we kind of miss a lot of the beautiful things in between, right? So what this card says for next week, definitely go at your own pace. Now, the last one that we see here is the Juggler, and we all know the Juggler because that is the Two of Pentacles. So when the Two of Pentacles shows up, basically you will feel an extra next week, and you will be able to handle more than one thing at a time, right? But you definitely will be seeking that harmony in case conflict or obstacles show up. Definitely go within and find the harmony there. Instead, if let's say the week gets crazy, instead of looking for a way out, right, go within, because there is inner harmony there, right? So this is all about, you already know the ropes, you already have the wisdom within you. Stop doubting yourself, right? So we have a very powerful week coming up for us. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to pull out a card from the Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn. Ooh, I like that name. I love the name Fiona. So let's go ahead and take a look. And I'm going to be reading a little... Look at that. How beautiful is this? I'm going to be reading the little ritual that comes with the card. Now, the card that we have for the week, the main energy, is Epiphany. So it's time to really, really dig into your gifts and use your gifts. Trust your intuition, and I believe every week we're being told that. Now, the ritual is called the Power of Yes. It says, for 3 days, say yes to every request and opportunity. Be guided only by yes and where this willingness takes you. Witness the special skills and talents unleashed in you, knowing that anything is possible when you allow it to be. Now, this doesn't mean say yes to people asking you favors. This means watch your thoughts. And when you get a pull, maybe I should start this, maybe I should get this going, go for it. And I love this because it kind of goes with the energy of the Six of Swords next to the Fool, right? Release and take the leap. Now, really, really fast to finish the reading, and before we go, we have that sale still happening at the shop. It ends on Sunday, right? So Sunday at midnight is all gone, but right now everything is 25% off using code Aquarius at checkout. So the readings are already on sale for $35. You get 25% off. You get a reading for $26. My available months for reading, because I am booked and I am so thankful for this, it is mid-May. So right now my next available date is, I believe, May 20th. All right, so even though there's a little bit of a wait, my clients for the last 20 years will tell you it is worth waiting, right? So let's take a look at February 3rd to the 9th, and we have thoughts and communications gets more emotional this week. Because on Monday, February 3rd, Mercury leaves Aquarius and moves into Pisces for the next 2 months. Pisces is a tough sell for Mercury because it's hard for the most logical of planets to lose its common sense to Pisces' ocean of emotion. The silver lining is that Pisces is a place where Mercury is gifted with great imagination and creativity. At best, Mercury in Pisces inspires you to live your dream. At worst, it can encourage you to be very convincing liar. Because Mercury will turn retrograde later this month, communications will be under the influence of this emotion-based sign until April, which is much longer than its usual 3-week tour. So this is what I mentioned. It's going to feel like the retrograde is going to last way longer, right? So just make sure that you stay grounded and just watch how you say things, right? Now, Venus makes an uncomfortable transfer on Friday, February 7th, when it passes into Aries, an aggressive sign in which the planet of love concentrates on its own needs instead of those of others. If you're someone who is a giver and needs to be more of a taker, so if you're a healer, this is for you. Venus in Aries will be giving you lessons for the next 4 weeks. The big bright Leo full moon early on Sunday, February 9th is dramatically illuminated by the opposing Aquarian sun. Every full moon is the highest power point of the month because its fullness marks a time of completion in the lunar cycle. This February's Leo full moon is the best time this year to bring leadership issues, personal creative projects, or anything to do with children to successful and positive conclusion. So we kind of have see the world card in there. So seeing this full for those healers. So let's talk a little bit about that. If you're a healer, then you know that you are a giver. Raise your hand, because we all are. And why do we give so much? Because it feels good, because it's just our natural way. And a lot of times we're like, when we give, and we think this is putting the energy of abundance. So I'm a giver, so the universe will give me. But the thing is that we create a little bit of a blockage. If I'm giving, but if someone gives me something, or compliment, whatever, and I'm like, no, thank you, or now I have to give them something, I'm actually blocking the abundance. Because also for me to attract abundance, I need to learn how to receive. I need to let the universe know I also am worth of receiving. So definitely for you guys that are healers and are givers, watch the lessons that are going to be unfolding for you in the next 4 weeks. So with this being said, I know that everybody will have an amazing February. I know that January was tough. We're going to make February the best that we can. Like I said, expect some good days, expect some bad days. The beautiful thing here is that we'll make it through, right? So I know that everybody will have a great week. I already said that. Lots of love and light to you all. Thank you for being here in this journey. Like I said, if you guys want to check out the shop, we've been around for 24 years. I'm getting old. And that is www.lightwitchtarotshop.com. Make sure you follow our Instagram and our Facebook, and if you like the channel, subscribe there. I sounded like a kid. Subscribe below, hit a like, right? That sounds dumb, but I did it. Oh my. So lots of love and light to you all, and blessed be. Bye-bye.